The strange thing about humanity is that we insist on calling love or purpose the engine of our lives when it has always been fear. Fear of loss, fear of intimacy, fear of wasting time, fear of death, and beneath all of it, the fear of the unknown. We do not escape these forces. We only learn to decorate them, because existence is bound to energy and consequence, and nothing in this life moves without leaving a trace. Ancient thinkers understood this without needing to prove it, knowing that pain, loss, and suffering are not personal failures but shared conditions that drift through all of us. The emotions we cling to are temporary by design. Joy dissolves, peace fractures, motivation fades, and even despair burns out, because every emotional state is transient, and every one of them ends where we end. What remains constant is the unknown, not as an enemy, but as the silent backdrop of everything we experience, because light has meaning only when something darker exists alongside it. Every moment of living carries us closer to an ending we avoid naming. The abyss does not pursue us, it waits, because it has never needed to rush. Knowing this, we fill our lives with movement and noise, with careers and status and comfort, convincing ourselves these structures offer protection, when in reality they only distract us from the fear that hums beneath them. Belief systems are not exempt from this, because many are shaped by fear of death and fear of punishment, using guilt and anxiety as tools to stabilize a mind confronted with impermanence. If a creator is responsible for creation, then responsibility cannot be separated from outcome, and punishment for existing as designed becomes meaningless, resembling not justice but a narrative contradiction. Even the figure meant to symbolize evil does not generate it independently, but draws it out through human weakness, acting only through what already exists within us. No framework is complete, whether religious, philosophical, or scientific, because certainty itself is a comforting illusion rather than a permanent state. We are given a limited window of vitality, perhaps a few decades where the body responds and the world feels open, before energy fades, and we are told that wisdom is a fair exchange. It is not, because given the chance, anyone would return to youth instantly, not out of ignorance, but because youth is the last period where the self exists without negotiation. Children embody what we later call heaven, not because they are perfect, but because they are unburdened, and it is strange that we imagine paradise as freedom from worry, while insisting adulthood must be defined by it. No one has returned with answers about the beginning or the end, yet we defend the rules of the middle as if they were absolute. We inherit systems without choosing them, work in exchange for survival, and call it stability, even as the structure itself grows more fragile. Industries measure worth in output and utility, not meaning, and when usefulness fades, replacement is already waiting. Technology accelerates this process, despite assurances meant to preserve comfort, because nothing remains as it was, and nothing guarantees permanence. Careers dissolve, families move forward, and identity erodes once it is no longer demanded. When purpose is tied entirely to function, losing function leaves only dependency, not as a moral failure, but as a logical conclusion of how value was defined. In the end, there is no drama in it. There is only recognition. The abyss was never chasing us. It never needed to. It was always patient enough to wait for us to arrive on our own.